Hi, I'm Michael Josh with Rappler.com, and this is a quick look at Samsung's newest device, the Galaxy K Zoom. The K Zoom is actually the successor to the Samsung Galaxy S4 Zoom, but this year Samsung is doing things differently by putting this device in its own separate device class, the K series instead of the S series. Now, if you take a look at this phone, if you're familiar with the previous phone, you'll notice that Samsung has managed to really trim down the size of the phone and make it look and feel more like a smartphone than a camera. And that's really the ultimate goal with the K Zoom. Now, let's turn the phone on. As you can see, the phone up front looks very much like a Samsung Galaxy S5. I have the S5 over here. You'll notice that the screen, the display is slightly smaller. This is a 4.8-inch display. Also, the sides of the device are curved a little bit more than the S5. But otherwise, it's pretty much a look-alike, and up front, without turning it around, it really does look like your regular Samsung smartphone. But when you turn it around, you'll notice that you have this big lens over here. The K Zoom receives a lens upgrade. It now has a 20.7 megapixel lens with optical image stabilization built in and a 1/2.3-inch imaging sensor. Also, like the Galaxy S5, you'll see that Samsung has adopted the same perforated leather back on the K Zoom. If you're familiar with the S4 Zoom, it had a big lens here that looked really much like a digital camera, and Samsung tried to correct that this time around with a form factor that hugs the hand a little bit more, making it easier to grip. Up front, you have a 2 megapixel front-facing camera that has also received a minor upgrade. On the sides of the device, you have this aluminum-like, but it's actually a plastic band around the device that frames the display. It's a 720p display, not a full HD display. And this is the user interface. It runs off Android 4.2.2 KitKat, and as you'll notice, the same customizations that we saw on the Galaxy S5 are available on this phone as well. My Magazine is a swipe from the left to the right side of the screen from the home screen. If you drop down and see the notifications panel, you'll see S Finder over here, which allows you to search for apps or other files on your device. They've also edited the settings menu a bit. So you have, they've removed the tab interface, and basically the settings menu, like the S5, has these colorful icon based layout. They've also given this device ultra power saving mode. So if, right now we're at about 19%. By activating it, we'll get an extra 2 days of battery life. Now, the phone is pretty snappy. It runs off a hexacore processor is what they're calling it. It's basically made up of two cores of 1.7 gigahertz dual core and a 1.3 gigahertz quad core processor working together in tandem. Overall, the performance is snappy, although we really haven't had enough time with the device to tell you for sure. But on benchmarking test Antutu, it scores just over 30,000, about 4,000 lower than the higher spec Galaxy S5. Let's just quickly go over specs and button placement. As you can see here, there are 3 buttons on the right-hand side of the device. There's a volume rocker, the power button, and the dedicated camera button. On the other side, on the left side, what you have basically is the micro SD card slot. The phone comes with 8 gigabytes of internal storage, but it's expandable to up to 64 gigabytes. On top of the device, all you have right here is the standard microphone / headphone jack, and on the bottom of the device is the micro USB port. The back plate of the Galaxy K Zoom is removable, so there's this groove over here, and it basically just pops off like that. to reveal a 2,340 milliamp hour battery. Let me go ahead and, not that way, there you go. As you can see, there are speaker grills on top of the device, and over here is the xenon flash. One of the standout features of the K-Zoom is its zoom lens and its camera. So let's go ahead and launch the camera app on the K-Zoom. As you can see, we're focused on my slippers and little Danbo over there. As you can see, the user interface or the camera interface of the K-Zoom is pretty much exactly like the S5. You have the dedicated buttons for video capture, image capture, and the mode dial. Now, when you click onto mode, you have a range of different modes to pick from, but Samsung is really touting two modes on the K-Zoom, and what I want to talk about today is Pro Suggest mode. So let me go ahead and click that. And what happens is, if you, let's try to zoom in on Danbo just a little bit. There you go. Now, once you focus on your subject, there you go, it serves a list of 5 or 6 different filters or films, as Samsung wants to call it, which it believes best suits your photo. Now, you can go ahead and click preview to see how your photo will look like with those filters applied. And I do want to, for example, give it a vintage look. So let me go ahead and click vintage. And as you can see, it gives you a live preview of what the photo will look like with a filter applied. So let me go ahead and just take that shot. Now, what it does basically is there's an algorithm on the phone that computes and says, okay, these are the lighting conditions, this is what the picture looks like, these are the best filters available. Now, the great thing about it is that Samsung wants to give you the option to create new filters or films or download them from a community it is trying to build. So if you see this flippy switch over here, if you click that, you see some of the films that are installed on the phone. Some of the film packs that were served up earlier actually come from a server and are not available on the phone itself. Now, when you go in over here, you can download new films. Clicking on that brings you to the Pro Suggest Marketplace, and as you can see, there are a couple of films like Washed Out, Good Times. Let's click this, Good Times, and as you can see, it'll show you what the film does, and then you can go ahead and just download that. If you click download, you'll be asked to sign in using your Samsung account. Now, earlier I talked about being able to create your own custom films. In the Pro Suggest app, there is this button over here, and when you click that, it will launch the app and give you a couple of options. Now, so the easiest way to show you is to go into RGB adjustment, something that you can see visually. And for example, I can go in and create a custom greenish looking filter. I can save that, and I can create my own custom filter. Now, that process will require a bit of customizations, but as you can see over here under My Film, I've actually already created a film or a filter called Rappler Orange. Now, the zoom lens on the K-Zoom is 10 times zoom, and you can easily just press the volume rocker to zoom in, or as you see these buttons over here, a quick press will help you go from 1 to 10 in just a matter of seconds. So let's try that. You just have to press the volume rocker once. It will bring this up. You click that, and it will automatically zoom in all the way to 10 times. Okay, we can go ahead and show you a preview. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's just turn off that mode, go back into auto. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, let me just zoom out a bit, is this new mode that Samsung is, it's not necessarily a mode, it's a feature that Samsung is calling AF-AE separation. So let's go ahead and just tap on Danbo over there, and as you can see, there's a bit of green. Let me hover over the slipper instead. Yeah, there's a bit of green, which is a focus box. And then there's this white corner on top. So you can actually drag out the white corner, and you actually can now set separate focus and exposure points. So for example, look for a brighter area in your photo, This photo is pretty much even, so you're not going to really see much of a difference, but there you go. We've actually produced a darker looking photo by moving the exposure point over here, and of course we want our focus to be on Danbo still. So that's a feature called AF AE separation, which is exclusive to the Galaxy K Zoom. Samsung says the Galaxy K Zoom will be available globally starting in May. This unit over here is white, but it will also come in blue and black. That, folks, is a quick look at the brand new Samsung Galaxy K Zoom. For a full review, visit rappler.com/technology.